All right, guys, I'll welcome you to a wonderful looking day in the markets. Just give me a sec to get everybody in the room. Hi. Okay, cool. So, wanted to take you through and look at the top 10. As you can see, there's quite a bit there in my watch list, as is shown by these little red flags. And I just wanted to show you what's going on in my eyes, because I've actually got the biggest watch list that I've had in a very long time. Just checking everyone can hear and see. If you can see me and hear me, can you just type yes, so that I'm aware that you are able to, obviously able to see me and hear me. Okay, cool. Looks like you can. Excellent. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We've seen something here that I do like. I've been relatively cautious of late. Simple reason being, I've had two losing trades in a row. Started the year off very, very well. I call it a cluster of trades. I was like, I think 5 or 6 that I got filled in that profitable. A couple of the losses in there as well. But the overwhelming majority was profitable and good. And I took my time coming out of that. There was a lot of movement. If I just come across and show you here, this is my scan that I do every morning on the non-leveraged pairs, and this is all on Binance because that's where I like to trade when it's just spot. But check it out. Today you can see a lot of these are down against Bitcoin, but just a quick little run through will show you. If I just focus on the daily here, it's not been the case. We have seen some really good moves across these alts. ICX being one of the major ones. It's been up over 100 or 200% at one stage, I believe. Good morning, all. And good evening for those in the Northern Hemisphere. But as you can see, some really strong moves in some of these alts, starting to get some better trends in play on some of them, but they have pulled back a little bit. Now, I was quite cautious as to whether I was trading leading into today against BTC, because the ICX trade, ICX BTC. I'm not hindsight trading here at all, guys. I did put a video out on I can't remember what date it was, back here. Make it so it's a bit easier to see back here. Beautiful little cradle. I decided at the time not to take that for the reasons. Well, the reasons are in the video for those that are in the members area. But for me, I did not take that. And sorry, I should probably put my charts up there, shouldn't I? Sorry. Sorry. But you can see a little cradle here, beautiful pullback. One of the strategies moved. Obviously, it's from where the entry was. I mean, we're talking about, where are we now? 125, and it peaked out over 200% from that point. And of course, the risk on this trade, this is the difference between trading to what is it? Like just saying a 50x or 100x or whatever. I'm actually looking at the risk to reward ratio. So my risk on that was 3.21, and the reward, of course, at the moment, is about 120% on that. So for me, I've avoided the Bitcoin pairs just because what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to get the market into a really strong cycle before I get too heavy in it. I like to see when multiple trends are in agreement, when multiple charts are in agreement trend-wise. And we've got that now. And if I just jump down here onto the daily and show you this on Bitcoin, we've now got a higher low and a higher high. Now, I was hoping to see it pull back to 9,000 and get a little cradle. Didn't get that, of course. It just sort of popped higher, 5.6%. Really, really nice. Bitcoin's not where my attention is at the moment, though. Let me take you through where it is. Ethereum against Perpetual here. Now, this is the FTX platform. You can have a 10% discount on your trading fees if you wish. Just drop us an email, and better yet, jump on the subscription, the free page. You just need to go to tradercobb.com. Subscribe to that. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming out shortly. We've been working on the members area for free and paid clients. And we're just about there. So I'm looking forward to sending that to you shortly. But I'll be putting an email out today with a video in that as well, giving you a bit more depth to what I'm speaking of now. So we've broken through that resistance, and Ethereum right now, look, it's a fantastic trend. For those that are night owls or in a different part of the world, to me, there's a bullish candle right there that was a cradle, fit the rules, and of course that has moved very, very well. I didn't get that because the trigger candle was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's one thing I like more than, there's a number of things I like more than trading, but sleeping is definitely one of them. So I didn't get that, but it's moving very, very well. I'm just waiting for pullbacks into this cradle zone. It's moved very, very nicely, and it hasn't really pulled back. So the lower time frames, I'm not focused too much on them at the moment. It's more these mids. So Ethereum is on my list because it's got daily, and everything lower is in an uptrend. XRP against perpetual as well, a really nice move there. And as you can see here, I've drawn in my fibs, 2 fibs from this high low to this high and this high low to this high. I got a double fib cluster at the 38.2 and the 50%. Now, this is a booster trading strategy that I teach, but it's not one that I've raised an order on. It hasn't really pulled back yet, and I prefer to trade them on the lower time frames. They're a fast-moving market strategy, and I'm looking for a cradle back in here. So market to pull back, small bullish candle, follow the rules, good convergence on the 8 hour here as well. It's just a really stellar move right now, really nice chart. So that's why that's on my list. Bitcoin Cash as well saw a very strong move overnight. It did happen very, very quickly. Look, just raced off and it's held its ground thus far. Now, although it's not one of the best chart structures out there across this top 10, it's also not terrible either. You can see here it has pushed to a higher high and it's come through that consolidation period. So naturally, $400 would be an absolute wonderful pullback location. I'll show you why. It's pretty much, there's no real support there. It's just a round number and it fits beautifully well with that that cradle zone that I do tend to trade from as often as I possibly can. So jumping out of there onto BSV, not much going on BSV. Sure, it's up quite heavily, but the chart's not really showing too much. Of course, after that very, very extravagant move that we saw earlier in the year, we've been fairly sideways. It needs to break out through here for me to get that, what I call cyclicity. And cyclicity is something like what we see here. Really nice, higher high, higher low, higher high. I want to see those pullbacks. This is a nice sustained trend, as is Ethereum, running very nicely and still plenty of potential upside there as well. BSV does not fall into that category. Litecoin, now I left Litecoin. There was an opportunity last night, again, because I've had 2 losing trades in a row. My third trade needs to be the absolute standout. And the reason I do this is quite simply because of the fact that for me, I've got to keep this going. I've got to keep this in the right place. For me to do that, I need to make sure that the trades that I take are not just fitting my trading rules, but true standout trades. Now, I know a number of people did take this cradle here. Of course, it's beyond 1-to-1 profit, so you should be at break even now if you did take that based on my rules. And hopefully they're the same rules as what you've got. But I did leave that. I'm not. I don't shy away from saying when I leave something and it moves, like ICX moved, like Ethereum Classic moved. I didn't get an order on that. I got an order. I just didn't get a fill. So Litecoin, I'm not watching that today because it needs to push to new higher highs for me to have any interest there. EOS, I don't mind this at all. Again, consolidation period after a very strong run. It did pull back, move on, and now we've just broken through that consolidation period. What I'm checking out now is just keeping an eye to see if I can get a pullback into this region. I'm happy to look at the 2 hour here for a cradle. Just taking my time on that. Binance is another one here. It's broken through that resistance on its way to $20 by the look of things. It's been pretty inactive for a while, a little bit of a move, but not a great deal. There is a definite uptrend there, and if you look at the weekly as well, we've definitely seen a lot more strength come in, not just in 1 week, but over the past, throughout the duration of 2020. So again, naturally keeping an eye on that. Cardano is another one here. Really nice move on Cardano. Consolidation was a little bit messy there, as you can see. It has moved above. I'm keeping a close eye to see how that progresses today, and if that progresses, I might actually get a breakout. I might get a cradle. I might get a booster, but it's not on the list just yet. Ethereum Classic, well, the one I was talking to you about, guys, was back here. That's the cradle that I did mention to members. I didn't get it. It is what it is. It was during that period of really good trending markets, really strong confluence of events from the daily all the way through. And, for me, it's just a bummer. Most people got it apart from me. Many are still long, but it's not really on my list yet until it breaks to new higher highs. That's what I'm really waiting for to get that cyclicity back. Tron moving quite nicely, as we can see here again on the daily, pulled back in that consolidation, broke above the resistance, and a very strong day thus far. There was resistance there, but there wasn't a breakout for me. I didn't trade that as a breakout, and I'm quite happy that I didn't, but I am very keen to keep an eye to see if we get a pullback into this old level of resistance. So that's how I'm playing that out. Now, something else to consider as well here, guys, is the list that I've just shown you is all margin trading. I've heard a lot of people out there talking of margin trading in a negative light, and I'm not suggesting that it's you guys and girls. It's just, I think it's a lack of understanding on how to use margin. Now, I'll be doing a video series that will be offered for free to anybody who's within our new members area when that does come out, and how to actually use FTX as a platform, what sort of orders for what sort of trades. For those that wish to learn how to manage your risk precisely, we do have that available to anyone who does the courses and whatnot, because it's so important. One thing is knowing how to raise an order. It's another thing knowing how to manage your risk. And thus far, most of these platforms don't have the greatest risk management software, so we've created it ourselves. Thank you to Matt, one of the mentors that I've got, simply because he's better than me. Way smart on that sort of stuff. He's created that. So don't be scared of using margin, but do make sure you're aware of exactly how to use it. I want you to understand this, and I'll use the Ethereum Classic 8-hour as an example. When I talk about a 10x trade, you've got to remember that I'm looking at this as an entry as it breaks up through here, and a stop underneath there. Now let's say I risk $100 on that, okay? And let's say I scale out at 1-to-1, so that puts it risk-free very, very quickly. Let's have a look at where we are right now on that. That's 126%, okay? 126% as price is right now from that entry. Now, if you consider, what do we got here? 4%. So what's that? 126 divided by 4. I'm not very good at math on the top of my head. Let me do it right now. 126 divided by 4, that's 31.5 times the multiple of risk. So if that's $100 and you didn't scale out, that's $3,150 you would have as profit. Now, of course, if you're trading and managing your risk, you'd scale out. So it's half of that plus 0.5%. So you're looking at about 16.75% return, which is $1,675. That's on a move on Ethereum Classic based off the back of a trade. So you're looking at a risk multiple whilst scaling out and trading and managing your risk very carefully of over 16 times the money that you risked. Now, the best thing about that is with margin trading pairs, and if you've been following me for a while, Jeremy, if risk management's your greatest weakness, we've got the calculator there, mate. I'm not sure if you're a member or not, but it's worthwhile considering because it just makes it much more accurate, and you can't really trade and manage your risk without it. So I really suggest that. A couple of years ago, I was sort of, I guess, moaning a bit about how average a lot of the margin trading platforms were. Their orders weren't very good. You couldn't raise a stop loss at the same time. And there was a number of things that I didn't like. Now, there's still a lot that I don't like, and there's a lot of room for improvement still. But in saying that, if you've got the right tools and you understand how to use these platforms and you understand risk management and you have a checklist trading system, whether it's mine, yours, or someone else's, it does give you that understanding of being able to perform your tasks significantly easier and more consistent. And if you want consistent returns, you need to have a consistent approach. So don't be scared of using margin this bull market. Do not be scared of it. Be aware of it. Understand it, because we might get one more massive move. We might see a big move this year. I don't know. I do not have a crystal ball. But it would be really suck if you couldn't take advantage of it because you didn't understand how to use something that is quite simple. Everything's difficult until you understand it. The difference between understanding and mastering is just education. So learn that stuff. Understand that stuff. Coming back to talk to Bitcoin right now, I just wanted to make one thing very clear. I want to jump up onto the daily here. The way that I look at things, I don't use sloping trend lines. They're too subjective for me. Not to say that anyone else who's using them is doing the wrong thing. I just don't myself, and I really think they're a waste of time. But that's just my opinion and the way that I trade. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We've got an uptrend there on the daily. Look at this weekly. Higher low, 2 pullbacks, so 2 candles pulling back is enough for a higher low for me, and then a higher high. Something else I talk of quite frequently is the breaking upwards of weekly candles being a fairly bullish sort of sign. We've seen a break up here. That was January. February, we did the same. We didn't. Sorry, these are weeks. January, the first couple of weeks we saw it. We didn't see it here, but since the last 2 weeks, being last week and this week, we've broken the high of each candle. Now, this to me is a very bullish sign. I'm looking forward to seeing us break above 10,000, and I'm hoping it happens in the next couple of days. But if we jump across to the monthly as well, I'm actually going to use the BitMEX chart here. There's more data. Looking at the 1 month here again, we've just broken the high of last month's candle. We haven't seen this for quite some time. Look back here, broke the high, boom, 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 boom. Look at that for a run. Back during that wonderful bull run of 2017, same thing. Each time we broke the high, we did see considerable upside. This is the first time we've broken the high of a monthly candle since, when was that? Back in June of last year. Is it a positive? Yes. Doesn't mean we're going to be moving to new higher highs? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But when I look at the monthly, it looks more bullish than bearish. When I look at the weekly, it is bullish. When I look at the daily, it is bullish. And when I go to the 4 hour, we're also looking good here. These are the conditions for me. These are the conditions that I like to trade. And that is why my watch list is very plump today. With the daily candle about to close in the next, what time is it now? In about half an hour or so. I am very much poised. I'm waiting for my opportunities, and this is the list that I'm working from. Guys, I want you to have a fantastic day. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. You probably already are because you're on this. Please do feel free to share this content around. You know, I'm here. I call it how I see it. I trade the way that I do. I've been doing this for 14 years, and I'd love to have more people involved and to be able to reach out to help more people become a better trader. So, g'day to you all from all over the country. Do you have any questions, by the way? I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. We're looking good right now. Today is certainly a day of focus for me, waiting for these opportunities through my watch list. And as you can see, the top 10 performing very, very well here. Alts against Bitcoin have taken a bit of a slug for the majority of them. Because, of course, we've seen Bitcoin have a fairly decent run up 5%. But you can see that all of these top 10 are currently outperforming Bitcoin. And if you recall the video I did a little while back about the top 15, we've got 90% of the entire market cap within those top 15. That's where the volume is, that's where I trade margin, and that's where I suggest you look into it as well. So guys, it doesn't appear that there are any questions. If that's the case, get over to tradercobb.com and register for that free content there for you guys. And I can't wait to bring you some new stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. And tune into the podcast each day because that's where I give you my daily top 10 market updates first thing in the morning. It's the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Guys, have a wonderful day and long may this continue on. And please, use margin safely. Understand what you're doing. Take it easy, guys. Have a good day.